We're going to go to the second here. All right. So now we're doing a 2-note away major second. Remember that if I want to think about building a chord from this A, like building from this A note, then I would be on the Aeolian. I'd be on the Aeolian, meaning I would build a minor chord, or it would be all the notes from the Aeolian if as measured from this A. And that's useful to note if I was playing in the key of Mixolydian. And how could I know that? Because if I say I'm playing in the key of Mixolydian, I would say I'm playing absolute mode number 5, 5 being the relative position to the major scale. And that means if I'm playing the second of absolute mode number 5, then I can say this is the second, it's always going to be whatever I'm on. The second minus 1, or minus the last one, is going to be 1 plus what the mode I was on, which is mode number 5, which will give me mode number 6, which is the Aeolian. I know that's a little bit wonky. You can always just basically, it's going to be the next, you can count down from 5, right? 5, 6, 7, and there's only 7 notes, and then it goes back up to 1. So if I'm on the second position of mode 5 Mixolydian, if I'm on the second position of mode 5 Mixolydian, then it's going to be, 5 plus 1 is going to be the Aeolian mode. But right now we're measuring the second, this A, as it compares to the G up top. So this would be like we're building a chord from the root note of the G, and we're not doing the normal 1, 3, 5, but now we're adding the 2. Now when we add the 2, from a chord construction, we can't just say it's going to be, it's an even number. So what we do is we go 1, 3, 5, and then the 7, that's the last note, and then we go around and we call it a 9, even though that's equivalent to the 2 in essence. I'm not getting into octaves here. So that means that we're looking for a 2-note away major second, which could also be called a 2-note away major 9. This 2 representing the relative position of the scale, this 2 representing the distance, noting that a 2-note away major second is the same interval that we would see in the major scale, and it's the same interval we'd actually see in the minor scale as well, which is kind of weird because normally we would expect the perfects to be the same in the major scale and the minor scale. But for some reason, the major second is also the same in the major scale and the minor scale. It's only flattened on the Locrian, or I'm sorry, well, it is flattened on the Locrian, but it's also flattened on the Phrygian scale for whatever. So we won't get into that now. That's beyond the scope of what we're doing. Let's do this. We're running too much time. You're pulling too much time, man. Breaking your own rules. So we're going to say 2 notes away. If I go 2 notes away on the same string, it would be right there. 2 notes away from this G. Sounds like that. 2-note away major second, 2-note away major 9. Let's go above it. So now if I go above it, if I wrapped this string around in a circle from this fret, from fret 1 to 12, and I started on the G, and I wrapped it around in a circle, if I go a distance of 2 notes around the circle one way, that would be equivalent to 12 minus 2, the inverse distance to go around the other way, which would be 10. So whenever I go above it, I have to take the inverse distance. So I'm going to take the inverse distance when I go above it. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. We happen to have the long one right off the bat here. So, which is 6 notes away. So when I go above it, I'm going to take the inverse distance of 10 to get there. So it's a 2-note away major second. 12 minus 2 is 10, and I have to go diagonal to get there. So that's going to be -5 going this way because we're crossing the fault line. 5, -5, -6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now this is 6 frets this way, which means it's also going to be 6 frets this way because that's the equilateral triangle. So this is the one that happens to be right in the middle, just kind of out of reach no matter which way we go. So this is going to be -5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is way out here. So if I went from this A to this G, then that would be A. And notice that's the only one I can't really reach, right? All the rest would be kind of in there. If I went forward, by the way, if I went from top to bottom, A to G, then that would be a 10 note away, minor 7. If I go from bottom to top, then that's going to be a 2 note away major 2nd or 2 note away major 9. If I go up the other way, it'd be -5, -5, -4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So that gets us back to the octave, 0, and then 1, 2. So that one's almost reachable. So if I went from top to bottom this way, is that right? Yeah. That would be a 10 note away, minor 7, bottom to top, therefore would be a 2 note away major 2nd or 2 note away major 9. I think I have that right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that means if I go up one string and cross the fault line, then the 2 note away major 2nd or 2 note away major 9 will be 6 frets back or 6 frets forward. But that's the only time I would cross the fault line. If I was down here, then I wouldn't cross the fault line. It would be out here. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'd like to go back. It would be from here back to here, which would only be 5 frets back. So, and if I was up here, then it would go back to this A. Okay, so the general rule is going to be that if I go up one string, the 2 note away major 2nd, which could also be called the 2 note away major 9, will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets back, unless I cross the fault line, which would only happen on the B string, in which case if I go up one string, the 2 note away major 2nd, which could also be called the 2 note away major 9, will be 6 frets back, which also means it would be 6 frets forward. We would be right in the middle. Going forward in that case might be the better way to go because it's possibly reachable, because you're on the shorter frets of the guitar towards the body of the guitar. All right, the next one will be more of a reachable one. So let's go to the next one. We're gonna go here. All right, that looks more like it, more better. That's more better. So we're gonna say if I go up 2 strings, I'm looking for the 2 note away major 2nd, which could also be called the 2 note away major 9. Inverse distance, 12 minus 2 is 10. I have to take a diagonal because of the fault line. So it's going to be -5 and 10. So let's count it out with here. So from this -5 and 10, boom, top to bottom would be a 10 note away minor 7. Bottom to top would be a 2 note away major 2nd. So that means if I go up 2 strings and cross the fault line, the 2 note away major 2nd will be 1 fret back. But I wouldn't cross the fault line if I started on the G or the D string. So if I was on like well, I could just do this one from here to here in the open position. It would be right there. So the general rule is if I go up 2 strings, then the 2 note away major 2nd or 2 note away major 9 will be on the same fret unless I cross the fault line, which would happen on the B or the E string on the bottom of the guitar, in which case if I go up 2 strings and cross the fault line, the 2 note away major 2nd, which could also be called the 2 note away major 9, will be 1 fret back. All right, let's go up another string and say we go up to here. So now I'm going to go above it 3 strings up, looking for the 2 note away major 2nd or 2 note away major 9, taking the inverse distance because I'm going above it. 12 minus 2 is a distance of 10. So we have the -5 because we're crossing the fault line, -5, 10, 15. And now there's only 12 notes in the musical alphabet, so here's that one big math we have to do all the time. 15 minus 12 is -3. -3, 2, 1, 0, or 12. Going around the horn, there's the octave, 12, 11, 10. So let's do it from here. So we're going to say this is going to be -5, -10, -15, -15, minus 12 is -3, 2, 1, 0, or octave, 12. I can go around the horn at 12, 12, 10, 12, 11, 10. So if I go from top to bottom, that's going to be a 10 note away minor 7, bottom to top. Therefore, it's a 2 note away major 2nd or 2 note away major 9. Therefore, if I go up 3 strings, the 2 note away major 2nd or 2 note away major 9 and cross the fault line will be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets forward. I wouldn't cross the fault line if I started above on this G. The G is the only one I can go on and still go up 3 strings and not cross the fault line, in which case it would be out here. So the general rule, if I go up 3 strings, the 2-note away major second, which could also be called the 2-note away major 9, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets forward unless I cross the fault line, which would happen 2 out of 3 times that I can go up 3 strings on the B and the E string and the bottom of the guitar, in which case if I go up 3 strings and cross the fault line, the 2-note away major second, which could also be called the 2-note away major 9, will be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets forward. All right, let's go to the top of it. Let's go to the peak of the guitar up top here. Now, if I go to the top and I'm measuring from this bottom string, my tendency is going to say, well, why don't I measure the bottom of the string because it's closer, and then it'll be the same as on the top, because if I go below it, it'll be even easier, because if I'm looking for a 2-note away major second or 2-note away major 9, I don't have to take the inverse distance. I can just look for 2 notes away. And I don't have to deal with the fault line, because there is no fault line underneath between these 2 strings. So I can go directly below it to go, that's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2. And if it's an A here, it's an A there. But let's count it up to the top just to prove that we can do it, because we want to show off, all right? We want to show off, people. I'm showing off. How do you show off? You just turn the light switch down, idiot. That's how you show off. You click the light switch to the down position. Anyway, so it's going to be -5, -10, -15. 15 minus 12 is -3, plus another 5 is going to be 8, and then -8, 9, and 10. And so then we're going to say this is going to be -5, -10, -15. 15 minus 12 is -3, plus another 5 is going to be 8, and -8, 9, 10. Boom. Top to bottom from this A to G would be a 10-note away minor 7, bottom to top, therefore 2-note away major second or 2-note away major 9. Therefore, if I go up 4 strings, I will always cross the fault line, because you can't go up 4 strings and not cross the fault line unless you're thinking about going around the top of the guitar. So therefore, the 2-note away major second, which could also be called the 2-note away major 9, will always be 3 frets back. All right, now let's go below it. Let's finish it off down below it here. So we already kind of did this one. If I'm going below it to find the 2-note away major second or 2-note away major 9, then I don't need to take the inverse distance because I'm going below it. So I just need to look for a distance of 2 notes away. There's a distance of 5 between the strings, which is directly below it now because we don't have the fault line. So that's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2. So we'll be right below it, -5, or just positive 5, 4, 3, 2. So boom, boom. So that's a 2-note away major second or 2-note away major 9, which means the inverse from bottom to top, A to G, would be a 10-note away, which would be a minor 7, right? So that means that if I go down 1 string, the 2-note away major second or 2-note away major 9 will be 1, 2, 3 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which would only happen on the G string. So let's go to this G out here, and then it would be here. So the rule is, if I go down 1 string, the 2-note away major second, which could also be called the 2-note away major 9, will be 3 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which only happens if I start on the G string, in which case if I go down 1 string and cross the fault line, the 2-note away major second, which could also be called the 2-note away major 9, is 2 frets back.